I'm okay
Now
with
she knows
batting for both
better.
the teams. I think it's more fun.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to 647th meeting of Kolkata Toastmasters Club. Well, we are very close to 650th mile, just 2 meetings away. So let's wait for it. In every Toastmasters meeting, there are 3 basic rules that you have to follow throughout the meeting. Rule number 1, kindly don't unmute yourself unless or until it's your chance to speak. Rule number 2, kindly don't prompt the speaker without the prior permission of the president. And last but not the least, rule number 3 is kindly refrain from using sex, religion, and politics in a derogatory manner. With this, let's move on. Theme for today is books are your best friend. And when I heard this theme for the very first time, I thought myself that it is quite very true. Because whether you read school books, novels, or anything you read, you just gain knowledge and wisdom. You don't have to give anything except for the price you pay for the book. So that is something really made me intriguing about the books and today's theme. And I personally, I started reading last year when I read my first book around December, and from that to till now I have read almost 5 books, and 5 books may not be a big number, but yeah, from what I was and what I am now, I can say that I am a good reader now. With this, let's call upon someone who is an avid reader herself. She is a lady with a determined outlook towards her life. Please put your hands together for the pragmatic and dynamic leader of Kolkata Toastmasters Club, Toastmaster Shreya Goswami Ray.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sumit. And whenever I feel low, I just go through the YouTube videos of our meeting. I just hear up to your introduction and I am on cloud 9. Thank you so much. And welcome all of you to the 647th meeting of Kolkata Toastmasters Club. We have some guests here. I'll give them a minute to kindly write in the chat box their name, what they're doing, and how did they came to know our Kolkata Toastmasters Club. And while the others write it down, I'll request 2 of the guests to kindly share their experience with us. Maybe we have 2 Bhavnas today. So I request Bhavna to share her feelings with us. Or maybe any other guest. Divya Deep, are you here?
Yes, I am here.
Okay.
Hello. So, by means of introduction, just wait a moment. I'll just enable my video.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Can you guys can you guys see and hear me as well?
Yes, yes, yes.
Hi guys. By means of introduction, my name is Devyadeep. I'm currently working at this company called KPMG. I posted in Bangalore, but right now I have shifted back to Calcutta because of work from home and everything. So I have avid public speaker back in my college days, but since the time I joined my job and everything, I realized that this is one particular trait I was kind of lacking in, and really wanted to develop this in the coming days. And unfortunately, as didn't have much opportunity for Toastmasters in my own company, I decided that till the time I'm in Calcutta in my hometown, why not join the Kolkata Toastmasters Club and try to engage with people, enhance the skill, and most important, getting to know people much better, network appropriately. So that's the reason for joining this session. So far, it has been a good experience. You all talk and wide variety of interesting topics to engage in. So yeah, that's it from my side.
Okay. You know, there are certain instances when we feel that this pandemic must continue, so that we get to hear from people like you. Also,
Yeah,
we have guest Arindam. Arindam, you are here? Okay, we'll get back to him. And Divyadeep, kindly share your feedback at the end of the meeting
Yes,
about how you
madam.
felt him. Okay, Arindam is here. Hi, Arindam.
Hello, everyone. Hello.
Yeah, you're audible. Please continue. Okay, we'll get back to him.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, this is Bhavna.
Okay, Bhavna, yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I was not able to speak
Mhm.
previously when you called my name. So
It's
I
okay,
just
it's okay.
wanted, yeah. So I just wanted to introduce myself. Let me first sit on the video. Okay. Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I am into digital marketing now, and I have got to know about Toastmasters from one of my friends. I have always wanted to do public speaking and wanted to speak in front of the people because that was the thing which I was lacking. So there was one of my friends who suggested me into this Toastmaster club. So I just went into it. And currently I am into digital marketing. Like I did a job previously, but now I have left the job and I am doing my own. Like I have built my own website, so I am just doing with it now, and also doing this Toastmasters. So I am just like I would join, so I am just into it.
Okay, glad to have you here. And your friend is indeed your friend for
Yeah,
recommending Toastmasters. Yeah. So with that,
he has
let's
told me a
proceed
lot of
further.
time.
Yeah. So the minutes of the previous meeting were circulated by our Secretary Toastmaster Tanish Agarwal. If any of you have any suggestions or recommendations, kindly do so within the next 48 hours, after which it will consider to be passed. I'm back after a long while, and I'm so happy that today two of my personal favorites will be delivering their speeches. I was returning from office from 8:30 since the last 1 week, and today I made it sure that today I have to be back. My daughters are waiting outside. I said, no, first it is Kirti and Rohit, and then you'll wait for a while. And for the theme of the day, books. It is also coming from a book lover with a lovely smile. And I can only say one thing, because saying anything about books is repeating the same thing. So in Bengalis, when we have first rice eating ceremony for babies, we call it Annaprashan. So when my kids were having their Annaprashan, after they have their first piece of rice, we gave, in a plate, we decorate various things. There's mud, there is money, there is book, there is pen, and a lot of other things. So the baby needs to choose one thing. And it indicates that the baby, the child, when that person grows up, will have an inclination over that thing. So for both my daughters, I was just wishing that they pick. And luckily they did so. And introduce our Toastmaster of the day, the enigmatic book lover, the person with a lovely smile, Toastmaster Projal Ghosh. Welcome.
Thank you so much for the lovely introduction, Madam President. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. This lack of energy. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, books
Good
are,
evening.
it feels great to put yourself into a world the writer has created for you. The habit of reading good content daily will act as an exercise for your mind and keep you mentally fit and flexible. Reading a book is not like that you read a book in English, which is any language which you feel comfortable. If you have never given it a try, then always remember that it is never too late to start a good habit. Books are many types. From them, some of the books inspire you, Some of the books are given a moral of life. Some books are turning point of some person's life, and it will improve our language and vocabulary as well. Sometimes books bring you tears also and make you laughter also. Now let me ask Toastmaster Gurpreet, what is your favorite book and why it is your favorite book?
Hey, my favorite book would be Viktor Frankl's Man's Search for Meaning. Now, it's based on the Second World War and how Hitler was, organizing these concentration camps. And there was this individual, that is Viktor Frankl himself, who was present in one of the concentration camps. He wanted to get out of it. People were dying, but he said, unless and until you find a meaning in life, you don't exactly want to live. You don't actually want to survive. The people in the camp did not have a meaning to live, so they probably accepted death. But Viktor Frankl managed to survive and come out of the concentration camp. So Man's Search for Meaning is my favorite book by Viktor Frankl. Over to you.
Man's Search for Meaning. Thank you so much for sharing what is your favorite book and why it is your favorite book. Now, let me ask DTM, Distinguished Toastmasters Archita Tiwari, what is your favorite book? I know you are an avid reader, and why it is your favorite book?
Okay. Hi, Prajwal. Thank you for calling me in. And I would like to say that I really think naming one book for an avid reader is very unfair. It is like saying which of your favorite kid is or who your favorite kid is among the kids that you have. But I'd like to say that two books that I really enjoy and are my go-to two books are The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho and The 5 Second Rule by Mel Robbins. Those are the two books whenever I am upset or I just need, kind of fresh energy and vibe, I go to them because they are my go-to books. And also, I'm a huge fan. I know sounds kiddish in a lot of languages, but I'm a J.K. Rowling fan. I think one of the best things to happen to the world is Harry Potter. So I think these three.
All right, that's great. Thank you so much. Now, let me ask Toastmaster Vishesh, what is your favorite book and again, why it is your favorite book? Toastmaster Vishesh, are you there? All right, great. So I read minimum 12 books in a year. Every month I read, one book, and my favorite book is The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, written by Stephen R. Covey. What I have learned from this book is, if you want to change the situation, then you first have to change yourself. And to change yourself effectively, you first have to change the perception. Now let's talk about our meeting. Every Toastmaster meeting is split into 3 segments. The first segment is called as prepared speeches. Our members come prepared with a speech based on the objectives given in the speech manual. This requires a lot of research and preparation. For some of us, writing a speech is as hard as reading a book. And the second segment is called impromptu speeches. You will be given a topic and will be asked to talk about it for 2 minutes. Though this segment may sound easy, like reading your favorite book, it really tests your impromptu thinking and speaking skills. And the third segment of the evening or the meeting is the evaluation. In this segment, the evaluators point out the strengths and the scope of improvement of our speakers. Evaluations play the role of guards in the books. They help us to differentiate the right from the wrong and offer suggestions to improve. The guards are headed by a chief guard, and the chief guard for today's meeting is the general evaluator of the evening. He is an entrepreneur in hard ways, but a soft-hearted person. He loves to play cricket, swimming, and badminton, and a daydreamer. When I asked him, what is your favorite book? He said, my favorite book is Bhagavad Gita. And when I asked him, what is your learning from this book? He said, death is certain for the born, and rebirth is certain for the dead. Therefore, you should not feel grief for what is inevitable. Please join me in welcoming the most dynamic and handsome general evaluator of today, Toastmasters Ayush Vaidya. Toastmaster Ayush Vaidya, over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. Karma edhari karaste ma Falesu kachadhan Ma karam fale hetu bhurte sangho swat karmani. This is the verse from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 247, which explains that you have the duty to perform everything, but the results are never dependent only on your efforts. It depends on the will of the God. And now, if you become anxious about the result, you will experience anxiety whenever they are not met according to your expectation. So here Sri Krishna advises Arjuna to give up the concern for the result and instead focus solely on doing great jobs. The fact is that when we are unconcerned about the result, we are able to focus entirely on our efforts and the result is even better. This is one of my favorite quotations from the Gita. Now, let's confabulate into Toastmasters. As a general evaluator, is just what the name applies, an evaluator of anything and everything that takes throughout the meeting. Right from the genesis where Sergeant at Arms starts the meeting till the end when President ends or concludes the meeting. My role is divided into three parts. First is to introduce the evaluators for the prepared speakers. Second is to call upon the tag, wow, and parliamentarian for their respective reports in the end. And finally, I will give my general evaluation of overall meeting. And as we all know that I have a team who will be assisting me into the meeting. So let's call upon the first role player. So I would request the grammarian to kindly enunciate the guidelines. Toastmaster Gurpreet Singh, over to you.
Thank you so much, Mr. General Evaluator, for the evening. Good evening once again, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. So I am the grammarian for the evening, and my responsibility as the grammarian is to find out the good usages of grammar and not so good usages of grammar. I would also be keeping a track of the pronunciation of certain words. The word of the day is confabulate, which means engage in a conversation or talk. The part of speech is a verb, and to use it in a sentence, it could be, she could be heard on the telephone confabulating with someone. I request each and every speaker to try to use the word of the day. I request everybody in the audience to give a virtual thumbs up or a virtual clap every time the speaker uses the of the day is books. So I have here with me the guide that is going to help me out. I'm sure you have recognized it, the Ren and Martin for the evening. Back to you, Mr. General Evaluator. I'll present my report when called upon to do so.
Hello, am I audible? This is Toastmaster Ayush.
Yeah,
Hello,
you're audible, but you're very faint.
I'm really sorry. I don't know how my laptop crashed, so I've got into the Zoom through my phone. Am I audible clearly, Archita?
Yeah, you are. Now you are.
Thank you, Archita. Gurpreet, are you done with the role?
Yes, I am done. Ayush, you can move ahead.
Thank you. Let's call upon the second role player, and I would like to call upon the counter to enunciate the guidelines. Toastmaster Anam Rahman, over to you.
Good evening, everyone. I just wanted to share my screen. It says it's disabled. Okay. So as the name suggests, I am the counter for the day, and I will be keeping account of all the filler words that the speakers utter while confabulating. And these words, they usually act like a hindrance and disrupt the flow of the speech. So I had a presentation for the example, so I'll just say it now. They are so some of these words are so actually among others. Okay, so all the best to all the speakers. I hope you all have a smooth and flawless speech today. Back to you, General Evaluator. I'll present my report when called upon to do so. Thank you.
Thank you, Anam, for that crisp. Okay, so moving on next, let's call upon the timer to enunciate the guidelines. Can I ask Toastmaster Oishiki Ghosh Mojumdar? Hello?
Yeah, can I share my screen?
Yes, definitely.
Uh, I think the host has to allow me to do the same.
Would request the host to please do it.
Okay, I'll start. So I had a presentation again, but since I'm not being able to give it, let me just familiarize you with the different time limits. For the speakers, the time limit is 5 to 7 minutes. I'll show the green card at the end of 5 minutes, the yellow card at the end of 6 minutes, and the red card at the end of 7 minutes. Since there is an icebreaker speech today, I will show the green card at the end of 4 minutes, the yellow card at the end of 5 minutes, and the red card at the end of 6 minutes. For the table topic, the green card will be shown at the end of 1 minute, the yellow card at the end of 1.5 minutes, and the red card at the end of 2 minutes. For evaluation, the time limit is 2 to 3 minutes. I will show the green card at the end of 2 minutes, and the yellow card at the end of 2.5 minutes, and the red card at the end of 3 minutes. And since I'll not be able to show the cards right now, but they are basic green, yellow, and red cards, I will note down the time taken by each person, and after the completion of the respective maximum time limits, I will continue to show the red card till the speech is over. And I will present my report when called upon to do so. On that note, back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Oishika. I think you're doing it for the first time. That's a well done job. Just to add on that, we just have the upper limit for table topic, and rest we have both lower and the upper limit of 30 seconds. So with that, let's move on to the next one. So may I call Toastmaster Achyut to enunciate the guidelines for go counter?
Hi, good evening, General Evaluator, and good evening, everyone. I'm sorry, I'm just traveling at the moment, so I'll switch on my video once I have better bandwidth. But to begin with, my role as the wow counter for today would be to help start your weekend a little early. We'll do that by recollecting some moments which stood out, which made us gasp in surprise or kick back with laughter, or even surprise us in a positive and fun manner. And I will recollect these moments at the end of the meeting to end it on a happy note. With that, I'll hand over the podium back to the General Evaluator.
Thank you, Achyut. Thank you very much, Achyut. And next, moving on to the parliamentarian, may I ask Toastmaster Aman to please enunciate the guidelines, please.
Thank you. Is it okay if I don't turn on my camera?
Yes, that's okay.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. I'm the parliamentarian of the day, and my duty is to help everyone follow the parliamentary norms. I would request everyone to avoid the uses of sex, politics, and religion in a derogatory manner. Would request everyone to use full forms of all Toastmaster related terms like Project One, different parts like dynamic leadership, presentation mastery, etc. Don't unmute yourself while the speaker is on the virtual podium. Don't write anything inappropriate in the Zoom chat. And if your video is on, please sit in appropriate positions and no prompting allowed. I will present my report at the end when called upon to do so. Thank you, and back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Aman. My laptop is not working fine, but I will keep my phone as alternative. So here I come to the end of my first session, and I will again come back in the ultimate session of the Toastmasters, and I hand back the podium to someone who just not likes to crunch numbers, but who loves to be around with his family, who is an avid reader, and who likes to travel to new places. Let's call upon the Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Prajwal. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Sir General Evaluator of the evening. I am excited about the prepared speech sessions. Are you? If yes, please give thumbs up. I repeat, I am excited about the prepared speech sessions. Are you? If yes, please give thumbs up. Now let's move on to the fantastic prepared speech sessions of the evening. Before I call the first speaker to the virtual stage, may I request the evaluator of the speech, Toastmasters Rahul Maheshwari, to read the project objectives.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the day, and good evening to one and all present here. The speaker is delivering his Level 1 Project 3 from the Pathways Dynamic Leadership, and the purpose of this project is for the member to learn or review basic research methods and present a well-organized, well-researched speech on any topic. Timer, please note that the timing is 5 to 7 minutes, and all the very best to the speaker. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmasters Rahul. He is a financial consultant. He understands numbers more than anything else. When he is not busy in managing money, he has to cook for his loved ones and does graphic designing. When I asked him, what is your favorite book? He said, Who Moved My Cheese? Written by Spencer Johnson, a book about the change management. When I asked him, what you learned from this book, he said, anticipate the change, adapt to change, and change. What a great learning. His project is mentored by DTM Archita Tiwari. Rohit Gupta, over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster today. I'll just request the timer to kindly allow me to share my screen. Is my screen visible?
Yes, it is, Rohit.
What are those three words other than I love you that sounds more magical to me? It is, do you want food? 7.8 billion people in the world, and that one common thread that ties us all is food. The food industry is in the eye of a hurricane named disruption. Technological disruption in the food industry means to innovate, to bring out newer dynamics in the field of food to the market and to the consumers. When we talk about food, food is not just a word, it's an emotion. And that emotion is clearly defined and justified by all the people who believe that food is something more than just what you have on your plate. Today, I'm going to discuss 4 major disruptions in the food industry that is going to change the way we look at food. Biryani, the most researched food that we have on Google. Guys, I'm just sorry, I just have to stop this. Guys, I'm going to present it. Biryani, the most researched food that we have according to Google. And most of the people who love biryani know that the right amount of meat that we're going to put in it is what defines the great quality of a good biryani. Guys, can I start again? There's some issue with my presentation. I think this because of network issue. Just give me 1 second.
Are those annotations on the presentation intentional? I doubt so. That seems like a disturbance.
The host can switch off the annotation now. option.
Yeah, I think someone was scribbling something on the screen, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah. So the host has the option of switching off the annotation.
Okay.
Guys, sorry for the delay. Can I start again if it's not an issue?
If he's allowed to start again, just let me know. Then I'll restart the timing, right?
I think officially Shreya is supposed to confirm this if she's here. Shreya, if you can hear us. In the absence of Shreya, the next presiding officer, if you can please confirm. The VP and the VPL, anyone?
I think Rohit can start once again, but we can just have an opinion from the general evaluator as well.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. Please switch off the annotations and Rohit can obviously start again.
Guys, the annotation part is not being, I'm not being able to access that. I think the host needs to do it.
Actually, I cannot do anything about it because only the presenter has the right of stopping someone from the annotation. But you will have the option on your sharing panel above the screen. Right? You will have the problem of option of annotation. You can switch it off.
Right, guys, let's start again. Sorry for the trouble. What are those three magical words other than I love you that most of the people would like to hear? You want food? 7.8 billion people in the world, and that one common thread that ties us all is food. The food industry is in the eye of a hurricane named disruption. Technological disruption means to innovate into products and services directly to the market and to the consumers. The way we look at food today is going to change. The change is going to be in terms of the meaning we have already defined to food since the inception of mankind. Today, I'm going to discuss four major disruptions in the food industry that is going to redefine the exact meaning of what food holds to us. Biryani. Biryani is the most sought after food in the entire world. And as per Google's, people love biryani with their preferred choice of meat. People do prefer the butter chicken. People do prefer having their meat just after a good workout. Or meat is just a part of any and every celebration to those who eat it. But just imagine, what if the meat that you're craving is not actually being reared from livestock or from cattle? What if you come to know that what you're eating is actually come from labs? The advent of human population up to a very uncontrollable limit is what is inducing the manufacture of lab-grown meat, also known as artificial proteins. Lab-grown meats turns out to be the best bright alternative. According to research, it is said that 7 tons of water is required to actually rear 450 grams of meat. That's exactly one entire cattle cycle. Moreover, people today are now progressively choosing lab-grown meat than actual meat. An example of a game changer in the world of artificial proteins would be to come up with a burger that uses a meat that mimics the actual meat. I don't know how many of you will like it, but the kind of environmental impact rearing real meat is having is quite difficult to sustain it for a longer period of time. Also, if you can see the statistics, not considered to be affordable in 2013, the price for the production of roughly 140 grams of artificial meat has dropped down to roughly 9.59 euros in 2017. That means the demand that is going for artificial meat, the demand that is going to protect the environment, is actually impacting the prices for the future. Now, this disruption is really impressive. Humans like to do everything at the click of a button. You want to confabulate with a loved one, you can do it at the click of a button. You want to deliver a speech, maybe you can do that at a click of a button, but why not food? 3D food printing is the newest disruption we're going to talk about. At the click of a button, you're getting onto your plate, desire what you want to eat. The 3D food printer works with cartridges that actually hold threading fibers with the exact nutritional value that an actual food will give it to you. All you have to do is just click. 3D food printing actually helps customize your meal plans accordingly and according to your lifestyle, according to any medical conditions that you have. And that's how 3D food printing is going to help us in the future to have and to eat exactly the right amount of nutrients that is required to sustain your life. According to statistics, the global food 3D printing market is projected to grow at a compounded annual growth rate of roughly 21% during the forecast period of 2020 to 2025. The next disruption that we're going to talk about is food robotics. Automation in the food industry and automation in the world of technology has led to a great advancement in robotics. The days are not far when Swiggy and Zomato are going to deliver your food right at your doorstep through drones. Food robotics include a lot of precision. Food robotics include a healthier lifestyle. Food robotics enhance the quality of food that you eat right from the onset of its manufacturing to the one getting delivered to you on your table. The global food robotics market is estimated to reach a $3.6 billion market by 2023 at a compounded annual growth rate of 13%. I'm pretty sure that the day a food robot comes into the market, my mom is just going to shoo off my already existing chef in the house, and she's going to rely on that. The next disruption, one of the most important disruptions that we're going to talk about, is Internet of Things and food safety. The current going pandemic and the current going scenario of a lot of food wastage in the world has led to the advancement of Internet of Things. Internet of Things is nothing, it's just a technology that enables devices, that enables devices through sensors and through internet and gives you a real-time data of whatever information and whatever tracking that you need to see. Internet of Things allows the beginning of smart kitchen, in which devices usually talk with each other through the transfer of data. What is the future outlook that we hold? Before these technologies can take hold, we have to first change the way we think about food and food production. On the most fundamental level, we have to be comfortable with the idea of redefining the meaning of food. If it's not actually living, is it food? If it's not actually grown in the ground, is it food? This is the key to unlock the disruptions, the mindset that plays it all. The increasing population and the coronavirus pandemic has really led us to think that what if the food that we actually know about is nothing than just history? and there's a lot of future that beholds the power to the newer things we can learn about food. The answer that lies, or what future the food holds for us, is in the win-win-win innovations. That is good for the producer, good for the consumer, and good for the environment. These are the research sources that I used while I made my presentation. And now I leave the floor open for any questions that the audience wants to throw at me. Are we having any questions? With that, I would like to end my speech. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, Toastmasters Rohit. Food holds win, win, and win innovation. That's absolutely true. That's absolutely true. Thank you so much for sharing a fantastic insights on food. Before I call the second speaker of this amazing evening, may I request the evaluator of this speech, Toastmasters Harsh Diwan, to read the project objective.
Good evening to the present and future Toastmasters. I'll have my video off as I'm on the way and the network bandwidth issues are there. So I'll my audio will be on. The speaker is delivering their icebreaker level 1 from the presentation mastery path. The purpose of the project is for the member to introduce herself or himself to the club and learn the basic structure of a public speech. At the conclusion, as with every icebreaker speech, I would request a virtual round of thunderous applause by all of us by unmuting our audio so that we can encourage the speaker. All the best to the speaker, and I'll hand over the virtual podium back to the Toastmaster of the day to introduce the speaker. Timer, please note the time limit is 4 to 6 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmasters Harsh. She works as a consultant at IBM when she is not cooking and Toastmastering. When I asked her, what's your favorite book? She said, my favorite book is Tuesdays with Maury. And when I asked her, what are your key learnings from this book? She said that accept who you are and revel in it. And she also said, death ends a life, not a relationship. And that is absolutely true. Death ends a life, not a relationship. Her speech is mentored by Toastmaster Rahul Maheshwari. Please join me in welcoming beautiful Toastmasters Kirti Sethi. Toastmasters Kirti Sethi, Turning Points, Toastmasters Kirti Sethi. Over to you.
I don't see the cards. Can you imagine if there were no turning points in your life? There would be no ahas. Nothing would awaken you and make you look deep into your life and make a change. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests. I'm Kirti, and I was born in Calcutta 14 years after my parents got married. Now you can imagine the pampering I must have got, but it did not last long, as both my brothers came along one after the other in the next 3 years, and suddenly there were just too many of us scattered everywhere. We were a joint family of 25. In fact, it took me some time to realize who my actual mom was amongst the many women I was constantly surrounded with. My dad worked in a private firm named Kanodia Chemicals and retired after working with the same organization for 40 years. Oh, it doesn't end there. He went on to work with them as a consultant for another 5. Yeah, we all wonder how. Now, being born in a Marwari family, 3 things come as a package with your DNA. Love for bhujia, love for achar, and love for papad. I know you were expecting me to say love for money, and love for money, but I guess some of us just cannot think beyond food. I studied in an all-girls convent school till my 8th standard, until my dad's transfer landed us in Chennai. This was the first turning point of my life as I was out of my comfort zone. It was a complete cultural shock. Now, being an introvert and going to a co-ed school, trying to fit in without understanding a single word of the language spoken all around. In the initial few months, all I knew was ille ille and popo. That was back then. Ask me today, and I will say it's my most favorite city in the world. I was about 15 and we were at this family dinner, and there was this corporate meeting going on in the adjacent banquet, and this lady walked in, dressed in a pink salwar kameez with a folder in one hand and a big handbag in another. She was oozing power, oozing confidence. And at that moment, just looking at her that day, I knew that one day I will have a job. I didn't care what, I didn't care where, but I will have a job. Now, working woman was not a concept in my family, so it was quite a daring dream for me back then. Years in school just flew by with studies, learning Tamil, trying to get rid of my brothers. I was always putting them on sale, buy one and get one free, and making some amazing friends. As soon as I finished college, I got a job offer from Citibank's back office. Now, how me and my mom convinced my dad to allow me to go to work is a speech I have saved for later. This, ladies and gentlemen, was the next turning point of my life, the start of my life in the corporate world. I currently work with IBM as a software consultant, and though I'm not the ambitious kind, I live my dream every day, the dream of having a job. I had an arranged marriage and I moved back to Calcutta. Now, even with a lot of support from my husband, I could never settle into the role of a daughter-in-law in a business family. Soon my daughter Suhani came along, and she was my little treasure. She actually made me relive my childhood. The third turning point in my life came when I lost her due to a lung disease at the age of 11. Now, this was not a happy one, but it made me believe that when the going gets tough, the tough gets going. Each turning point in my life has made me stronger and more determined to face life as it comes. To sit and reflect on your life with a blank sheet of paper is not an opportunity you get very often. Now, whenever you are in a situation, get strong and turn the situation around to your favor. I take this icebreaker opportunity to count my blessings. My loving parents who treat me like a 4-year-old, even though I'm 40, my brothers who are my strength, my sister, she's here to support me today, and my friends, some of them are here too, who stand by me and support me in every decision that I take. Oh, and my 3-year-old gorgeous niece who amazes me and challenges me every day with her language skills and makes me want to be a better communicator. I hope this Toastmaster journey will give me a new turning point to talk about. The saga of Kirti's life thus continues, sailing through life. Quite unplanned and quite a ride, I must say. But one plan I do have, to retire in a small cottage on the beach with white linen curtains and my red wagon parked in the portico. I told you I'm not ambitious. And lest I forget, a closet full of bhujia, papad, and achar, my love for which has grown exponentially ever since. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Toastmasters Kirti. When the going gets tough, the tough gets going. The story that you shared with us re-emphasized that. Now let's move on. The most exciting part of the meeting. She is an application development analyst at Accenture. Her interests include in reading books and cooking. I am an avid reader, so I was very curious to know what is her favorite book. When I asked her, she said, The Kite Runner by Khalid Hossein is her favorite book. When I asked, what are your 2 key lessons from the book that will always stay with you. She said, but better to get hurt by the truth than comforted with a lie. And the second learning was, and that's the thing about people who mean everything they say. They think everyone else do too. Please join me in welcoming the most dynamic, energetic, and sweet table topic master of the evening, Toastmasters Komal. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day, Projwal. There's a story behind why this is my favorite book. This is not a book that I bought or borrowed. This was a book that I picked up from a pile of things that were being dumped by my warden in my PG. I generally don't judge people, but that very day I judged the person who dumped a novel. I got it stitched as the pages were worn out and were coming off. I took it to college with me every day and read it during my boring lectures and my free time. It was a definite page turner, and I could not believe how a history fiction could be so beautiful and interesting at the same time. As it as it said of the author that he is not afraid to pull every string to make your heart sing. It's a 11 on 10 for me. The best part was I did give the same book to 7, 8 friends of mine. They loved it too and luckily returned it back. So if you ever want to read this book and if you guarantee me that you will return it back to me, I would be very happy to lend this book. That's my story behind why I love the book. Good evening, avid readers, readers who read sporadically, and readers who have totally given up on reading. Welcome to the table topic session, a session which will leave you thrilled, and a session which will be the only fun that you can have on a Friday evening at your homes. If you are scared to try in a table topic like I am, there are two main key takeaways after every time I come on stage and speak. Number one is if you volunteer to speak, you'll be thrilled to know that you participated and that gives you a sort of kick. And then second thing is after every time you come, you will feel like you improved and you were better than the last time. So if you're scared, I would urge you all to please volunteer. Otherwise, I'm there to pick you guys, not to worry. So there are certain rules that you have to follow. The timing for this speech is going to be 1 to 2 minutes with 30 seconds grace on the upper side. Guests are also welcome to participate. The topic for the guests and the Toastmasters will be repeated twice. The guests have the liberty of switching the topic once, whereas the Toastmasters do not. What I've done is today that since the theme is on books and books are your favorite, are your best friends, the topics today are book titles. It's not going to be as long as the Guernsey Literary and the Potato Peel Society or as cliched as the power of positive thinking. It's somewhere in between. So I hope you all have a fun time, and I would like the first volunteer to come and raise your hand or put in your names. Okay, I can see Archita as the first volunteer. So Archita, your topic is the 3 mistakes of my life. The 3 mistakes of my life, distinguished Toastmaster Archita.
If you do not make a mistake in your life, it goes to prove you have tried nothing new. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, fellow Toastmasters and guests. I am here to talk to you about the 3 mistakes of my life. Let's quickly delve into the topic without any going around it. Mistake number 1, taking up finance right after my class 12 board examinations. I was completely clueless of what to do, and the only thing on my mind was the next day, first show of a movie, because that's all that mattered to me at that time. I went up to my dad, who asked me, "What are you doing next in your life?" And I said, "The movie starts at 9, so I can reach the theater by 8:45. And he looked at me and said, about life and career. And I said, I don't know. What do you want me to do? He said, take up finance. It's a great deal. I took it up without realizing what it was, and years later regretted it. Let me come to mistake number two. The mistake number two of my life was to work at a place where I wasn't comfortable and still continue to do so, subduing my passion. I worked under bosses I did not like. I worked at an environment I felt unappreciated in, only because I didn't have the courage at that time to stand up against the system. Mistake number three that I made is to give up on something as beautiful as love after my first heartbreak for almost 2 years. Friends, these are mistakes that are really hard to own up. But I'm here doing that in front of you because I have courageously managed to correct every one of them. I am today a soft skills trainer by profession pursuing communication, and I have given up on finance long time back after doing CA. I am today passionately a soft skills trainer who's freelancing and not working at any company that she's unhappy about. And I'm today someone who's still looking for love, someone who believes in the idea of romance, someone who believes in soulmates in spite of heartbreak. I'm here to tell you that every mistake that you do will give you a chance to correct and put life where it belongs. So make sure that you make these mistakes, for they will make you. Thank you.
I mean, that was a flawless, wonderful take on the topic with the perfect conclusion that make mistakes so that it makes you. It was brilliant, flawless for me. This book is actually written by Chetan Bhagat, and this book is on friendship, cricket, and business. So if you are interested in any of the three genres, you can go ahead and read this book. Personally, I'm not a fan of Chetan Bhagat, but if you want to read, you can read the book. Next, who would like to volunteer? Don't get scared by Archita's flawless take on the topic. You can definitely come and volunteer. I see Rahul's hand up. So the next topic is going to be for Rahul. Rahul, your take on the your topic is, can love happen twice? Can love happen twice? Toastmaster Rahul.
14 years in boys' school. No idea about how a girl looks, how a girl smells, how girls sit, how girl talk. I have no idea. I had no idea. All I could do was talk with our dear Toastmaster Vishesh Mehra throughout the 14 years of my school life. And here I get the topic that can I get fall in love again twice? The answer is definitely yes. And if you think twice in one life, you are actually saying it, you're actually being really optimistic about our choices, because we fall in love twice a day, right? We are the kind of people who have literally no female interaction throughout the 14 years of our school life. And the moment I came to college, that to Bhawanipur College, where I hardly go to college, I could never see, I never had the opportunity to talk to a lot of girls. And because of that, whenever I see a girl, I do feel, yeah, that this is the one. Because the quantity that I have seen is actually really less. So the number of times I see a girl, I do believe that yes, she is the one. And for me, that is love right now. I haven't fallen in love very deeply as people say yet, but I believe that sometime there is going to be a time when I am going to. And but right now I fall in love like every day, twice or thrice. Okay, I've screwed it up. Back to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rahul. I have one major, I don't know, takeaway, but Rahul said that he did not know how a girl sits. So that's
I was
something very.
just
Okay, this book has been written by Ravinder Singh, and it talks about whether you can fall in love after a major heartbreak, and is it possible to love someone deeply if you have lost the one you love. And its rating on Goodreads is 3.3. So if you're looking for a way to love again, it's a go to book. Who'd like to volunteer next? Okay, I can see Achyut Chan, so I'm going to call him. Toastmaster Achyut, your topic is life is what you make of it. Life is what you make of it. Toastmaster Achyut.
Thank you, Table Topic Master, for the topic, and thank you, Shreya's daughter, for the encouragement. Uh, Life is what you make of it. And this is a question which I recently came about as a process of deep introspection. Now, I'm someone who would like to think that I'm a person who thinks a lot over things, often overthinking and questioning stuff, right? And earlier, uh, I had this dream, or I had a goal that I wanted to go for a trek. And in this trek, it would be away from the hustle of a daily city life. I imagined I would be all alone with myself 10, 12 days and in peace and tranquility. And then I will have this eureka moment where I would achieve the sense of calmness. Uh, 2 days after the trek, I realized that the mountains were beautiful and it was by far the best experience. But I didn't have any such eureka moment. It's because I was expecting too much out of it. I hadn't put in any effort to make something of it yet, but I had attributed a lot of expectations, and the mismatch between what I expected versus what was delivered was a complete shamble. And that's when I realized that I was making too much out of nothing. And then that's when I realized that life is what you make out of it. Like, I'm making no sense of the speech, but life can also be that way. Right now, I had a very good role at Uber. 3 years into it, when all my colleagues were saying, "Achut, when are you going to do your MBA?" and my parents were like, "Acha, Achut, beta, please shadi kar lo. Achut, please get married." I said, "Okay, I'm going to quit my job. I'm not going to do an MBA." So no more, there's no degree on what my parents would like to make a biodata of, and my job is suddenly like I don't have a clear prospect, but yet I'm happier happier than ever before, and I'm taking it moment by moment. I've tried the three things which I've started recently: picking up, learning how to read, trying to make friends outside my comfort level of school, and learning how to cook. These are three things I'd never done before, but funnily enough, I'm actually enjoying life more. And I think life is what you make out of it if you let your expectations go and just work towards it day by day, moment by moment. Thank you.
Thank you, Achyut, for that take on the topic. That life, you should take it moment by moment and not get worried up by things that happen. Also, I think all of us have the one question: have your parents already started making a biodata for getting you married? We'll all like to have a look at it.
They haven't. This was something to fill in words and time. But yeah.
Who'd like to volunteer next? Oh, I'm sorry. This book is written by Preeti Shenoy. She's an Indian author. And this book is of love, hope, and how determination can overcome destiny. And on Goodreads, the book has a rating of 3.62. So if you're interested to read, you can go ahead and check out the summary and synopsis of it. I see Toastmaster Shreya wants to volunteer to speak. So Toastmaster Shreya, your topic is a taste of well-being. A taste of well-being, Toastmaster Shreya.
Good evening, everyone, once again. At times, we're unable to determine what will make you feel good. There was a point in my life, a very good job, 2 kids, everything was seeming so settled. And then suddenly, with a 8 months baby at home, I was transferred to a place 100 kilometers away from my home, in a rural area. I was not sure what to do. Everything that was seeming like a bliss was so suffocating at the time. It was a government job, a safe one, so it ought to be a tough decision if you have to quit it. A baby at home, I was leaving home at 6:30 in the morning, and it was not possible for me to reach home before 9:30, 10 p.m. And then I opted for sabbatical leave. Well, People at that time felt pity for me. Oh, such a bad thing, what happened to you? But gradually I realized that during that sabbatical period, I was in my period of well-being. I worked on myself, I pursued my hobbies, I joined Toastmasters, something that I wanted to join since 10 years. I spent time with my family, and I was so happy that the people who were pitying me, they said, oh wow, so we should also go for a sabbatical leave. So that was my feeling of well-being, my taste of well-being. The apparently what was so glorious from outside was suffocating me at times. And now when I've joined back, I am all the more powerful. Like I don't think of certain things. I realize that worrying is something which when you actually need to face, you have to face it. There's no point. And that is my test of well-being. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shreya. I think we all feel a little more inspired, and that a break is always required to rejuvenate yourself. Thank you for that take. This book is actually a book by Isha Foundation, Sadhguru. It's about the proper diet that you should take in a day to maintain your body. And it has a rating of 4.3 out of 5 on Goodreads. Next, I'd like to pick someone because that's also a bit thrilling. So I'm going to pick someone whose video is off for sure. And I'd like to pick Sohini if you are here.
Yeah, hi. I can't turn on my video. Poor network issues. So I hope it's not an issue. Yeah.
Sohini, your topic for the day is stay hungry, stay foolish. Stay hungry, stay foolish.
Okay, thank you for the topic, Table Topic Master. Okay, so stay hungry in the sense of, since we're talking about books, if we stay hungry and about if we, sorry, excuse me. Hello?
Yes, Sohini.
Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, sorry, I suddenly realized my network is gone. So if we, so I forgot what I was saying. Hold on one second.
Need to repeat the topic? I can do it once.
Yeah, I actually forgot. I'm having major network issues here.
Stay foolish.
Stay hungry, stay foolish. All right.
Sohini, are you there with us? I'm guessing she has poor network issues. So we'll switch to another topic in another person.
Hello?
Yeah, are you there?
Yes, God, I'm having major network issues. I was
It's okay,
happily bantering away. Suddenly realized I can't hear anything.
It's okay. We can come up the next time. We'll move ahead and we'll move ahead with the next speaker. If there's anyone who wants to volunteer. Any guest? We'd like a guest to volunteer. Guest Somadeep, if you are here, then we'd like you to speak on the next topic. Are you there, Somadeep? No. Okay. I do not see any other guest on the list. Guest Arindam, are you there? Would you like to participate? Okay, I don't think he's there either. So we'll go ahead with another Toastmaster, and since none of you are volunteering, I'll pick Toastmaster. Okay, I'll pick Toastmaster Gurpreet if he's there.
Komal, I think Arindam is raising his hand. I can see it on the chat box.
On the chat box.
Guest Arindam.
Arindam, if you can unmute yourself, then I'll be able to know that you can hear me and I can give you the topic. Are you there, Arindam?
Hello.
Yeah, are you there?
Yeah, actually there was a with network issues. Yeah, is it fine now?
Yeah, it's fine.
Hello.
Yeah, it's fine, Arindam. We can hear you. Do you still have network issue?
Is my voice audible? Hello.
Yeah, so I'm going to give you the topic. The topic for
Is
you.
my voice audible?
Yeah, it's audible, Arindam. Can you hear me? You are audible. You're clearly audible.
Yeah, yeah, you are audible, but I think my voice is not audible enough.
It is. It is.
Because something's okay. It's fine. It's fine. Then it's fine.
Yeah. So would you like to go ahead and try to speak on the topic?
Sure, sure, sure.
Yeah. So your topic is how to stop worrying and start living. How to stop worrying and start living. Yes, Arindam. Can you hear us, Arindam? Gurpreet, I'm sorry, but I'll have to shift it to the next speaker. Sumit, if you could speak on the topic. The topic for you is how to stop worrying and start living. How to stop worrying and start living.
Good evening, everyone, once again. So, worrying. Well, that is the, you can say, that is the only thing I have done after I quit my CA and started preparing for CAT. Because when I take this decision, I was not sure what will happen because I have already invested a lot of money in that course and still I'm not taking the vibe and convincing my parents that I will not be able to continue it was a tough task. But then I changed my perspective and accepted my decision that yeah, I will do what I am meant to do. And then I stopped worrying about that decision and start focusing what I wanted to do. And then I explored what are the things available for me to study and to explore while preparing for my MBA exams. So then I found that I should read books. Frankly speaking, when I was preparing for my CA intermediate, I was barely getting enough time to study for my college. But after shifting to CAT, I get a fair enough time to read books, and I did read books. The first book I read was written by Paulo Coelho, The Winner Stands Alone. Thanks to Devashi, he gave me that book, and I read it. I took a 1 month long time, but I finally finished it, and it was amazing. And if you want to read it, and if you love fictional stories, please go ahead. You will love that book. With this, thank you, and that's how I stopped worrying us and started living my life. And I'm still enjoying what I am doing right now.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sumit. The smile on your face makes us believe whatever you just said. Also, somebody told me that when you start worrying a lot, your hair starts graying. So that's one of the reasons why I've started worrying a little less, because it's really scary, that thought of having gray hair at the age of 25 because you're worrying. Other reasons are fine, but this should not be the reason. This book has been written by Dale Carnegie, and it has all the magic formulas for your worrisome situations. And it has a rating of 4.1 out of 5 on Goodreads. So I think this is a book recommended to all, so that we have shiny black hair. Do we have time for another table topic, or not?
Yes, please. Yes.
We do?
Yeah, please go ahead. Or one more.
Okay. The last one. Who would like to volunteer? Is there someone who'd like to volunteer? Kirti, would you like to volunteer? Yes, I can see your hand. Kirti, your topic is a wasted hour. A wasted hour, Toastmaster Kirti.
Many wasted hours make me very, very happy. I believe that some of us take birth not with the objective of doing, but just for being. I don't understand this whole pressure of constantly utilizing and making the most of every hour that you have in life. Just be. I mean, just who told you you're born here to do something big or achieve something or leave a name, or you have to be remembered for life? No. Some of us, or many of us, should understand that maybe we are only here to be, to just bless the world with our presence. What is it this about making the most of every hour, counting, array 4 ghante I have not done anything, or I've spent 4 hours on Netflix and there's no productivity? What is this constant need to be productive? I have never understood it, and I don't believe in the fact at all. Like this morning, I got up at 11 in the morning. Till 4, I was lazing. 4 o'clock, I had my lunch, which was quite delicious. And then I thought again of taking a nap. And I felt superb when I was ready for my meeting at 7. So I think we have to change our approach a little. It is quite possible that you have many wasted hours in your life and you still can be smiling at the end of it and thinking you've been an achiever. Because in this rat race of being productive every hour, trying to sound like we're the most ambitious, the most powerful, and the most hardworking people on earth, believe me, if you are one who can be happy doing nothing, there's nothing better than that. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Kirti. I think we've gotten all of us to laugh a little more today, and we're going to have a peaceful night. Thank you for that. This book has been written by Jeffrey Archer. It's for all the ones who do not like reading. This is just a 12-page book with 2 characters, and you can finish it in 15 minutes. So please go ahead and read this novel. He is a master storyteller, and I'm sure this will help you to get your journey started on reading books. So for all the ones who've given up on reading books, I'd like you to suggest 2 things. Start with, that's what I did, start with books that are not very huge, with books that have 100 pages, so that you can at least get into the flow of reading and get accustomed to the idea of reading. It can be a novel, it can be a newspaper article, or it can be a blog, anything, but get started with it. Maybe you like something. And one more takeaway that I have after reading is that I am able to articulate and imagine things better. So that's also very helpful, especially in a place at Toastmasters where you have a session and you have to speak impromptu. So articulating your thoughts and putting it and thinking on spot is also a benefit. So thank you all. That was all from my end. I'd like to hand over the podium back to the Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Prajwal. Thank you very much.
Table Master Komal, thank you very much for the lovely session. The fellow Toastmasters have spoken very passionately, and it was a fantastic tabletop session. And I'm really inspired and motivated by this session. So we all are here to inspire each other, right? And if you want to know how to work with and influence people like a superstar, regardless of your position, I recommend you to read this book, The Leader Who Had No Title, written by Robin Sharma. It is a modern fable on real success in business and in life. Before I hand over the meeting to the general evaluator of the day, I want to share 10 reasons why books are my best friends. Number one, they don't question us. Number two, they make us forget our troubles. Number three, they make us smarter. Number four, they're always there for us. Number five, they make us a better person, undoubtedly. Number six, they are non-judgmental. Number seven, we can travel with them anywhere, anytime in the world. Number eight, books help us escape. And number nine, they change our perspective towards personal and professional life. And the last one, books teach us to accept our emotions and that it's okay to feel sad sometimes. Lastly, a famous quote said by John Green, great books help you understand and they help you feel understood. Did you have a fantastic meeting today so far? Thank you so much. I thoroughly enjoyed this meeting. We have spoken a lot about books and it has given me an immense learning. So now let me hand over the virtual stage to our general evaluator for today's evening, Toastmaster Ayush Vaidya, for the last segment, the evaluation session. The Toastmaster Ayush Vaidya, over to you, sir.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day. Keep the applause going for that wonderful Toastmaster of the Day, Projwal. What a fantastic job you have done. Kudos to you. And ladies and gentlemen, now it's time for the final evaluation, final session of the Toastmaster. That is the evaluation session. And now I would like to call upon the first evaluator of the speaker, who is a CFA and a fitness freak. And this guy, this gentleman, loves and lives to play cricket and football. And this gentleman has recently helped in the formation of a new club. And there he has taken the role of an AC post. With a thunderous round of applause, please welcome Toastmaster Rahul Maheshwari.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Ayush. And before starting, I am not a CFA yet. I'm just into the second level right now. But thank you so much. That is for future motivation. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests, and to Toastmaster Rohit in particular. Toastmaster Rohit, today you spoke like a nutritionist. And the reason I say that is because the project objective, the research that was required was completely on point. You spoke about so many things that many of us didn't have an idea about. Maybe Internet of Things connecting it with food robotics, 3D protein, 3D food, then artificial protein, and many such things like we had no idea about. And you give us detailed explanation of each and every one of things, the pros and cons, how it came into existence, and everything about it. And I think that was the best part of his speech. Secondly, really well designed PPTs, PowerPoint presentations. Now, when you're speaking and you have a presentation to give, there has to be a very unique synchronization between the PowerPoint presentation that you have, the images, the content, and what you're saying. And I think that happened brilliantly. You had less content on the presentations, really good images that to back it up. And again, you were speaking really fluently and connecting with whatever the slide was there. Third was that you're very comfortable. When you started your speech, there was a little annotation going on in the screen, and that happens. That is a kind of problem when a prepared speaker comes with a presentation. And if you have to go about start with it again, it is kind of a little tough for a prepared speaker because they have a lot to speak after that. But that wasn't a problem with you at all. You were really comfortable, you were really confident, and not at all nervous. Coming to the recommendations part, I do have a few recommendations for you that can make a speech a little better. Starting with content accuracy. Toastmaster Rohit, you started your speech by saying those three words, I love you. But then you said, what are the next three words people would like to hear? That was, do you want food? Now, do you want food is not three words, right? And since it was at the beginning of your speech, that caught everyone's attention. So I think content accuracy is very important, and you could have used who loves food, the question mark thing, and then I love food. Maybe those three words could fit in well with this word. Second was, I feel the practice was missing. Now you had a great presentation, but when you're presenting something, the voice behind is also as important as the presentation. And I think that voice was a little casual today. It seemed that you are confabulating and not delivering a speech. Now, when you're presenting something or maybe delivering a speech, the energy has to be high. And the kind of content you had, the energy had to be on peak. And I believe the energy was not on point today. Third is that the question that you asked towards the fag end of your speech. Now, if you're asking someone a question towards the fag end of your speech and someone is not answering you back, it is kind of leaving you on a demotivating tone. So what you can do is have a backup plan. Maybe plant a few people here and there and tell them that once I complete my speech, please ask me questions. Or maybe once you're done with the questions and even if no one asks you, end the speech with a few more lines so that you don't end it on a demotivating tone. But on and all, the research was fantastic. Amazing PowerPoint presentations, really comfortable and not at all nervous. Just work on the accuracy part, practice a little more harder, and have a backup plan for those engaging questions. Your speech could have been way better. Back to you, Mr. General Evaluator.
Spot on evaluation, Rahul. Spot on. You covered all the essential points I thought to say, and you made my job tougher. And yes, I motivated you for the future CFA. And yes, Rohit, coming back to Rohit, is Rohit here? Yes, I can see Rohit. Rohit, I must commend you for your job that you had to start again, but you did in a very good way with a very high spirit. That shows your presence of mind in the meeting. And the speech was very informative, especially about the 3D printer. I'm really waiting for that someday. If it's in the market, just let me know. I am going to buy for sure. And just one recommendation for you, that when you have thrown question in the end, by that time the red card was already up. So you could have seen that and avoided that. Just imagine if somebody would have asked a question and you would have to answer, by that time you would be disqualified. It would have crossed 7 minutes 30 seconds. So just be more vigilant. When you see that the time is less, just avoid the questions. Overall, it was a fantastic speech, something very different to see on the card. Let's appreciate Toastmaster Rohit for that wonderful speech. Now, moving on to the second evaluator. And the second evaluator who's coming up on stage is someone who's a very positive person and a debate champion who had won the title of the best speaker in all three rounds of the debate. Let's call upon Toastmaster Harsh Devan. Over to you.
Thank you so much, General Evaluator. A very good evening again to all present and future Toastmasters, and especially to Toastmaster Kirti Sethia. My one word response to your speech, which is a sentiment many in the audience would agree with, is wow. Toastmaster Kirti started powerfully and immediately caught the attention of the audience, myself included. The structure of your speech was excellent, where the different turning points created the base framework, and then you used charming anecdotes to flesh out your speech. Your speech was peppered with humor, where you described how the three things important to you are gujia, achar, and papad, and how you sold your brothers 1+1 free. The speaker took us with her on this journey of her childhood, where her father was transferred, then how you were inspired to be a working woman, how you fulfilled this dream of yours of being one, and now you're beginning this journey of your Toastmasters. Toastmaster Kirti, you used voice modulation really well, where you painted that image of a strong woman oozing power, and especially when you recounted the tough phases of your life. By reflecting and counting the blessings, the speaker, you have inspired all of us to bravely face the challenges in our life. You fulfill the objectives of the icebreaker, as we can confidently say that you have introduced yourself well and did a really good job with this first public speech. You are an asset to the club, and we would greatly benefit from you being more active in delivering speeches. I would like to wish you the best of luck on retiring to a cottage with your favorite food items. Back to you, General Evaluator. Thank you.
Thank you, Harsh, for that wonderful, wonderful evaluation. I haven't heard you evaluating much, but this was spot on evaluations. And coming back to Kirti, I had to mention this that you have great expression and great emotion while delivering the speech. Audience need to understand that it's not a English speaking class, it's a public speaking platform, and we need to show the emotion, the expression, to create that impact in the meeting while delivering the speech. Kirti, I just have one recommendation for you, or either two. First, there were 6 instances where you had clapped, and that produced a lot of noise, which was little bit distracting. Second, if you are such a great speaker, it does not seem that you're delivering it for the first time. I want you to deliver while standing. It creates more impact. You can utilize the framework of the camera. So next time, if you try to stand and deliver, it will be the cherry on the cake. Okay. Well done, Kirti. Kudos to Kirti for the icebreaker. Let's appreciate once again for Kirti Sekya. So here I'm done with the prepared speech evaluation. Coming to my role players, first the Sergeant at Arms. So Sergeant at Arms started bang on time. I must say that people were confabulating and suddenly you had muted all of them and started the meeting. Kudos to you, Sumit, for that job. You explained all the 3 rules and with a very great introduction of the president. Just one recommendation, I think you forgot to mention that no one is supposed to chat, like no one is supposed to put something on chat while the speaker is speaking, so the speaker is not distracted. Maybe you can add this point next time. Well done job. Let's have a big round of applause for our Sergeant Ram Toastmaster Sunil. And moving to next, our president is president here. Yes, thank you, President. President, like the way you started off, it was really great. You have taken the introduction of the guest. You have talked about the theme, and just one recommendation I have for you is that your camera was quivering. Maybe you can use a laptop so that the motion is stagnant and it looks more professional. And one more recommendation, during the meeting, we were in need of your suggestion. So if you could be more vigilant, I understand that you have kids in your home, you have to look after everything. But at that time, we really needed your discretion. Anyway, well done. Kudos to you, Shreyaji, for taking out time and coming with something so good every time. Let's have a huge round of applause for our Toastmaster, our president. And next, coming to the team out Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Prajwal. What do I see about you today? Today you are like the MS Dhoni, who has done every bit of research before the meeting, before the match, and came and played the best innings. Spot on for everything. Starting with the theme. The theme that you have chosen synced in with everybody. It created a very good rapport with everybody. Bang on. Second, you confabulated immediately with the audience when you have thrown the questions related to your books. And you were very picky, you were very smart to choose whom to call, not to waste time. Like in one of the speaker, I think he was not there. You quickly move on to the second one to avoid the wastage of time. Very smart. Third, I think the way you have motivated everyone, the way you have activated everyone before the prepared speech session by asking to show a thumbs up. That was very well done. That was very something very different that I have seen on Toastmasters. And yes, coming to the introduction of every speaker, it was excellent. One of the main feature of the Toastmaster of the day is to give a great introduction to everyone so that they can be extolled to the brim and their confidence is boosted up and they can deliver in a very good way. Kudos to you. And Toastmaster Projwal, I just have one recommendation for you. Like today, we were having the icebreaker for Toastmaster Kirti. Had it been a physical meeting, we would have given a standing ovation. But here, that is not possible. What you could have asked the audience is that let's unmute and clap for the icebreaker. That would have created a signature same level of aura as that of standing ovation in the meeting. That's for the icebreaker especially. But overall, it was a fantastic job. Like the way you mentioned 10 points, in the end, you get 10 on 10 for your role today. Let's appreciate Toastmaster of the day once again. And coming to the table topic master, uh, table topic master, Komal, as usual, you are always good with table topics. You explain the purpose, you elaborated the time, the rules. You also asked about the guest that you have the liberty to change your topic and you will repeat only twice. And your all the topics were synced with the theme. Not only that, you explained the name, you mentioned the name of every book name, I mean the author, and you also set the rating so it would tempt the readers to go and read. So indirectly, you motivated everyone to go and read the books. So I have just two suggestions for you. If we go by the rule book, the rule says that a table topic master has to promote or encourage the word of the day once again. Yes, it's a rule in the book. So next time, for all the future table topic master, if you can just encourage the word of the day again, it will be the best part on your side. And second recommendation is like the last speaker when you called Toastmaster Kirti, there was someone from the platform who wanted to speak, and that speaker was not on the agenda. So it's always good to give someone who is not on the agenda. Maybe you could have been more vigilant and just given some more few seconds to see if somebody has raised a hand or not. I could see in the chat box somebody raised his hand. Anyway, that's all right. Overall, it was a wonderful, very tempting, very enthralling session by your side. Let's appreciate for Toastmaster Form. Coming to the table topic speakers, the first one was just a second. The first one was yes, the first table topic speaker was DTM Archita. I think she is Archita is here. The three mistakes of my life. What a great start. Great quotations in the genesis of your speech, and the way you elaborated all three mistakes of your life in detail was apt. I think had it been this a table topic contest, you would have won. It was such a great speech by your end. Tabletop, DTM Achita, I just have one suggestion for you. You are such a great leader and a speaker. You know the importance of using the hands, and I could not see any gestures from your side. Maybe you could have used that to enhance your speech. Overall, it was a fantastic speech. Let's appreciate for DTM Achita Tiwari. Moving on next, can love happen twice? For Toastmaster Rahul. What a hilarious start in the beginning. That 14 years you had been with boys and nothing, you know nothing about girls, and that you can at that point of time you can actually fall twice in love with any girl every day. The content was really hilarious. Maybe you could have structured in a better way where you could have mentioned more about your college days or the first time you had the chance of interacting with a girl. How did you feel? And just one suggestion I have, you were using your hand gestures, but you did not know that wasn't in the frame of your camera. So maybe you could have kept your camera a bit away. That would do. And yes, in the end, never say that you screwed up. You never do it. I tell you why. Because the audience might not have noticed that much. So just avoid that. Here we are here to learn and grow. We do mistakes. You never screwed up. You're a very good speaker. Congratulations. Let's appreciate Toastmaster Rahul for that. And next we have the studious guy, studious gentleman of our club, Toastmaster Achyut. And Toastmaster Achyut, I was very inspired by your, I think he guess he's here, he has switched on the camera. The trekking story about 10 to 12 days where you wanted to go, feel the calmness, be alone, enjoy the life. But in 2 days, in just 2 days, you realize how the life is beautiful, how everything has changed. I mean, you have used really good words, tranquility, And then you have mentioned about your life, about your job, and the way your parents were eager to get you married. I can, sink in with that. That is the same situation in my home. And just one suggestion for you: while speaking, you were looking here and there. So I think had it been a physical meeting, this would be possible. But I think here we just have to look in the camera so that it makes a connection with everyone. Just avoid looking here and there. It did not have any meaning to the speech. But overall, I loved your content. I loved your story. Let's appreciate Toastmaster Achit for that. Next coming, next speaker was our president, Shreya. Shreya, I think your story was really beautiful. How you were transferred in an area 100 kilometers away with an 8-month toddler, and the way you struggled. But in the end, the message was so beautiful that there is no point of worrying. You need to face it, and when you face it, you become ace in doing that, and in future, you don't worry that much. And just one recommendation I have for you, Toastmasters, yeah, use a laptop. I want your hand gestures. I want your hand gesture to enhance your speech. And yes, I think you walked in between while delivering your speech. So just avoid that. And overall, as a president, you were amazing today. Let's appreciate once again for the president and the table topic speaker of Kolkata Toastmasters Club. Next, coming up, I think Sohini could not get the chance to speak, neither Arindam. So let's move on to Toastmaster Sumit. Sumit had the topic how to stop worrying and start living. Sumit, your story was somewhere very much connected to everyone that we really struggle to understand what field we need to choose. Like you wanted CA, but you dropped down CA and you thought that you have already invested a lot of money, hefty amount of money for CA, and now you need to pursue something else. But then you realize there's no point of worrying. You started living your life, and the way you mentioned about the book that you started reading and referred by Tyoshi was a very good one, and which actually synced in with the theme of the day. So very well done, Sumit. And as a recommendation, I would just say that you had a lot of stops, unnecessary hiatus in between, long hiatus. Just avoid that. Overall, I just loved your content. Let's appreciate for Toastmaster Sumit, who is also the Sergeant at Arms in our club. And the last speaker, Kirti, today I think you made a very different content for everyone. That it's not necessary that you have been born to earn money, to earn fame, and to please everyone. This is spot on thing that you have said, that sometimes you just need to be happy, and if you're happy performing your all trivial duties, you live your life confidently. Great expressions, great emotions. You're a very good speaker. Just one recommendation I have for you: standing. Just stand and deliver. It creates more impact on the audience and on you as well. So here we come to an end to the table topic speakers, and I have few general remarks on the overall meeting. First is, I think next time when a speaker is coming up, he or she should check once again whether the annotation is off or not. I think today what happened was something very unprofessional, and it was clearly seen that somebody had done that deliberately. So maybe next time, if the speaker is more vigilant, if he or she should have off that. Nevertheless, Rohit never knew that this could have happened. Otherwise, he would have definitely off that option from everybody. So I would request the EC to just take care on this, how to avoid this, something very annoying, something very disrespecting to the speaker. However, I think Rohit handled it very well. He was very calm, he was very composed, and he started again. And second, I think for the timer, I have seen the rights were given late. So for this first speaker, the timer used a different cell phone to reflect the time. And third, the most important part is, if you go through the rule book, it clearly says that one should vote. One should vote for the prepared speaker before the evaluation is done. Yes, this is a rule, and I've seen in most of the clubs in Nepal, in Delhi, they follow. So I would urge the AC to discuss on this and take a good step. And the fourth point is the naming convention. The naming convention is really important. Like Toastmaster Komal faced issues while picking up the guest because she rarely knew whether this person is a guest or not. So if we make a naming convention before the start of the meeting and display on the share screen that the G has to write G, the speaker has to write speaker 1, the speaker 2, everything, so it becomes very easy. I give you an example. Few days before I entered the KTM meeting, in between, so I was really confused who was doing what. I had the agenda, that's okay, but just assume for the unknown people, it would be very tough to recognize what part or the what thing is actually going in the meeting. So if we have the naming convention, we can easily recognize what is actually going on in the meeting. It becomes really easy for the role players and for everyone to recognize that. And if the AC can just work on that, and yes, now it's time to take, that's all from my side, and now it's time to take the report. And first I would like to call the timer to please present their final report. Toastmaster Oishiki.
Thank you, General Evaluator. And well, these are the respective times taken by everyone. Apart from Toastmaster Shohini and guest Arindam, everyone else qualified for voting. Thank you.
Thank you, Oishi. That was really well presented. It made your job easier. It made everybody's job easier. Kudos to you. You're doing it, I think, for the first time, and you did it in excellent way. Let's appreciate Toastmaster Oishi. So just one suggestion, Oishi, just remember that for table topics, we just have upper limit of 30 seconds on the higher side. You forgot to mention in the beginning. Just remember the small rule, and it will be up. Okay. Now, moving on next, may I call the counter Toastmaster Anam to present the final report, please?
Sure. So here's my report. Before that, I would like to admit this was one of the most beautiful sessions I had, considering the kind of speeches that we heard today, and they were really impactful. I mean, all of them. So here's my report. Toastmaster Projwal Ghosh said twice. Toastmaster Ayush Vaidya said twice and so once. Toastmaster Gurpreet said so once. Toastmaster Oishika Ghosh said twice. Toastmaster Achyut said a couple of times and like once. Toastmaster Rahul Maheshwari said twice and like once. Toastmaster Rohit Gupta said actually twice and twice. Toastmaster Kirti Sethia said twice. Toastmaster Komal Churaria said thrice and once. Toastmaster Sumit said twice. And others than that, all the speeches were flawless. Thank you. Back to you, Toastmaster Ayush.
Thank you, Anam, for that crisp report. Very good. Well done. You're doing excellent in Toastmaster. Proud of you. And moving on next, let's take the report from the work counter, Toastmaster Achyut.
Thank you so much, General Evaluator, for the day. It's actually a privilege to play this role today. Typically on weekends, I like to lose myself into someone else's story, right? Watch a movie or read a book, and also consume some informational content. I guess my job's been pretty easy because the weekend started early. I had three moments which I want to recall following these two themes. Moment number three for me was the solidarity and the support at display. I might be making a big deal out of it, but it touched a chord with me at an end. The renewed effort by Rohit in restarting his rendition of disruptions in the food industry. The speech, it was great. It was the confidence he had to come back. I think it was amazing. The second moment for me was how Prajwal was confabulating with the audience participants like Toastmaster Archita and a couple of others in the initial part of the meeting. And that set in motion a fluid meeting where various speakers were sharing a lot about their books, even if they was not structured to do so. It was very engaging, and that's why it stood out. My favorite takeaway from this moment was a quote, "Emotions can move the world." Now, I don't know if some person famous said it, but it certainly moved me. Kirti's speech delivery was powerful. The emotions evoked by her elocution was powerful, and I'm at a loss for words, but it was immensely moving. So that stood out for me. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Archit. Very well report. Just one suggestion: just try to mention one point that actually made you wow. Maybe if you could have just made one specific point from Kirti's speech or from the table topics that made actually everyone wow. And very well done, Bachut. You are no doubt a great listener, and you have come up with some great reports. Let's appreciate Toastmaster Archit for that. And now let's take the reports on the parliamentarian piece. Toastmaster Aman, can I have you on the podium?
Thank you. I'm glad to state that all the parliamentary norms were followed.
Thank you, Aman. So let's confabulate with the grammarian of the day, Toastmaster Gurpreet.
Thank you so much, Mr. General Evaluator, Toastmaster Ayush, once again. And before I present my report, I would like to just present it in an alternate manner. I would start with the not so good usages of grammar, followed by the good usages, because I want to end on a positive note before the Durga Puja. So pointing out the not so good usages of grammar, that made me intriguing towards books, should have been that got me intrigued towards books. Achar sounds good. We can relate to it, but a translation into pickle would have been better. When I take this decision, should have been when I took this decision. More harder. Harder is itself a comparative degree. You need not add more to it. So harder is harder, not more harder. On the agenda should have been on the agenda, because agenda, A is vowel. So before that, we say on the and not on the agenda. Transferred in an area should have been transferred to an area. The word of the day was used by Toastmaster Ayush Vaidya 4 times. I think we can just clap for that 4 times. Toastmaster Anam and Toastmaster Achyut 1. Now coming back on a positive note, the good usages of grammar. First, I would like to point out the very good usages of words. We had wonderful usages of words like portico, exponentially, sporadically. Please note them down, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen. Tranquility. Now coming to some good phrases. Oozing power and confidence. Definite page turner. Flesh out of your speech. Cherry on the cake. And finally, life is what you make out of it. And when the going gets tough, ladies and gentlemen, the tough gets going. Over to you, Sir General Evaluator.
And so the applause should be going for you, Toastmaster Gurpreet. Toastmaster Gurpreet, I mean, appreciate your effort today. In the beginning, you mentioned the word of the day. So the president, the team out in the initial session can actually use, because by the time the word of the day is introduced, the meeting, the 20% of the meeting has already been passed. But the way you have commented on the chart, that shows great effort from your side. First, second, you kept on reminding the word of the day. I think you posted twice or thrice more on the chat box. This is really good initiative from you. Not only that, you also mentioned the form of the verb. That is a verb form. The form of the word, that is a verb form. And this is really a good part. It makes to understand the word very easy. And you have chosen the word very correctly. It was used numerous times in the meeting. So well done, Toastmaster Gurpreet. Kudos to you. Let's appreciate once again for Toastmaster Gurpreet for giving so much effort for the role. And here I come to an end, and now it's time to bring back someone on podium who is ruling from the center with a scepter in her hand. She is a lady who motivates everyone that how someone can manage all the work, be it the office, be it the small kids, be it Toastmasters. Let's welcome Toastmaster Shreya, the president of Kolkata Toastmasters Club.
Thank you, General Evaluator, and thank you for all the praise. But I must admit, I'm able to manage everything because I have Toastmasters. It acts as a stress buster. Like every week, Friday, 7 to 9, I'm stress-free. I'm ready for my weekend. I'm ready to take on Monday on a positive note with so many positive vibes about people turning around, their turning points. Food is discussed. What else do we need? Thank you so much for being here, everyone. And I'll request our Take Master to kindly launch the poll in the chat box. And while we exercise our choice, I'll request some members of maybe other clubs, guests to kindly give their feedback so that we also learn in the process. So, Akash Patnaik, you're here? Meenu?
Hello, am I
Yeah.
audible?
Yes, you are.
I'm there.
Yeah, so both of you kindly
Yeah,
share your
is my
feedback.
video visible? Yes, yes.
Yeah, so we'd like to hear from you how you felt after attending today's meeting.
Yeah. It was. Hi, this is Meenu here.
Your wow moment. Yeah.
Yeah. Just basically, I'm here to support my sister Kirti.
Okay.
I'm aware of her entire journey, and I've been part of the journey. So I'm just here to support. But this is my first experience as a viewer in Toastmaster, and it's a great learning. I in fact enjoyed it. I've been glued to it since it started. So maybe I may end up joining one soon. But everybody did a fabulous job. Thank you so much.
Yes, and even if I had, like every time Kirti decides to take up a table topic, I'll invite my boss after hearing from you today. Like it's okay to waste time. Okay. And then Akash?
Evening, this is Akash here. This is my second meeting actually today, and I had actually planned to speak for my table topic today, but the fact I had gone out for some groceries and I was over the phone. So by the time I came and I was ready to actually go for it, all over by that time. So it was a constraint due to a late meeting, but definitely looking forward to the next meeting and giving a go on that day. Overall, the meeting was great.
Okay, thank you. So next week, make sure you have done your groceries and calls in time, because we'd like to hear more
Yeah,
from you.
definitely. Actually, it was due to a late meeting today evening, so that is why all this happened.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, so now the poll results are here. To start with, the best auxiliary role player. Any guesses?
Toastmaster Gurpreet.
The grammarian of the day?
The
Yeah.
grammarian.
Yes. He is the person who takes care of the members of Kolkata Toastmasters, and the best auxiliary role player goes to the vice president member of ship of a club, Toastmaster Gurpreet Singh. Congratulations,
Thank you.
Gurpreet.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay, then we have the best table topic speaker. When the mentee gets award, the mentor has to be there. And so the best table topic speaker goes to my dash, 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 dash. Distinguished Toastmaster Archita Tiwari. Congratulations.
Thank you so much, Madam President. It's absolutely an honor.
Yes. Okay, so earlier there were lots of ribbons and certificates stacking your wardrobe. Now your phone is full of digital certificates, I guess.
Yes, they are, and I'm really glad for the PR team to be making them and sending them without any delay. So we reach them and we get it right Saturday morning. So thank you so much.
Okay, now any guesses for the best evaluator? Yeah, who said it? Okay, so the best evaluator goes to Club Toastmaster Harsh Diwan. Congratulations, Harsh. I'm so happy to have you back as a speaker, as an evaluator. Congratulations.
I'm glad to be back. Thank you
Now,
so
the
much.
best role play.
Thank you.
Please keep coming back. Don't be complacent.
Absolutely.
Okay. And so, yeah. Now, the best role player. It is really close. And I'm so happy to announce that the best role player out of the Toastmaster of the Day, the General Evaluator, and the Table Topic Master goes to Toastmaster Komal Churaria. Congratulations, Komal. Archita, you owe all of us a party.
Absolutely, I couldn't be more proud.
Yeah. Okay. And since we are here to improve on everything, the most, give me some time for this. Because the most improved speaker, yeah, goes to the person who reminded us it's okay to attend Toastmaster meeting, but after that, mom will call you for dinner. And it goes to the vice president, public relations of our club, Toastmaster Rohit Gupta. Congratulations, Rohit. And to add more smile to Kirti's face, let me tell that the best speaker goes to Toastmaster Kirti Sethia. And with all of us, you should also give a treat to your sister, because today morning, in the morning only I read, I also have a brother, that siblings are the one for whom you can donate your kidney, but not your charger.
Yeah. Agree.
On that note, a very good night to all of you. We'll be having a joint meeting with Virtual Toastmasters Club tomorrow. Hope to see all of you there. And next week, we won't be having a regular meeting on Friday. We have a surprise for you. For that, WhatsApp group. Thank you. Good night.
Good night. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, guys. Good night.
Thank you. Thank you so much.